Hello everyone and welcome back to my Eruption of Shame. This month we have a whole new selection of games for both Humble Bundle and the Amazon Prime bundles. So, off the bat, can I just say, this game bundle looks much better than the last one. We'll talk about why in a few seconds, but before we do that, I want to talk about why I didn't like the last one again. And I know I've already done that to death, but there's some point I need to make. Now, I hated this bundle. Just Die Already was already given out recently. Before We Leave was pretty much the only game I personally wanted out of the bundle. Calico is alright, I suppose. But realistically, it wasn't anything special. I didn't like how it lied to make it look like it had more in it than it did. And while Borderlands 3 was a good pickup, I felt like without the expansion packs, there's no point. Now, it should be said, it has now came with a Borderlands 3 coupon, which will be there till April. So if you still need to go back and get it, technically, the price of Borderlands 3 plus the coupon is the lowest price it's been. So that, in theory, is good. In practice, I do not want to encourage Humble Bundle from doing this again. So I personally do not support this coupon. I think that if a game is given out in Humble Bundle, Humble Choice, it should be either complete or very close to it. And that if there is a sale, it should be for everyone, not just the people who did the Humble Choice. Because quite frankly, this is laughable. The idea that I have to spend the full money on the membership, and then I have to spend additional money on the coupon. Whether that coupon is cheaper or not, it just leaves a sour taste in my mouth. But I'll show you what doesn't leave a sour taste in the mouth, and that is the current bundle. So the current bundle has a bunch of games here. I think there's only one that I already have played before, but I don't own it. So we'll talk about that in a few seconds. Let's start off with Desperados. Now, I did do a new Eruption of Shame episode in the halfway point of last month about Kickstarter. I do love Kickstarter. And I went through all the Kickstarter games. And one thing I did do is I've changed it so that I can now show videos. So we'll do that a little bit too. But Desperados is a... Oh yeah, I should probably do some cross promotion here. If you like Kickstarter, please check out that video. I don't know if I'm going to keep doing them. It didn't really get amazing views. But it was a really... It's a really... I love Kickstarter. Less so at the moment. But in general, I love backing things. Because I love being able to support projects that I believe in. So, if you too want to support projects you believe in, not all the projects listed 15 days ago are still going to be up there, but do watch and have a look at the later half of the video where they're still active, and also be sure to watch the next video when it comes out. So I'll probably try at least one more of these videos before giving up on that. But for now, let's start watching Desperados 3. Personally, I have always loved the Commando series, and if you've ever played it, you can see the inspirations there straight away. This game is essentially Wild West Commandos, and quite frankly, its stealth tactics is a game that even my father loves to play. So, personally, I am very happy to see this in this bundle. It's not something I would have went out of my way to purchase, but it's definitely something I would be okay with trying out and playing and putting on my Mountain of Shame. So, yeah, I gotta say, this is a pretty good ad. Now, as for the next one is definitely the one that most people care about. So, we've got Mass Effect, a Legendary Edition. Now, a lot of people have already played this in the original games format, and thus wouldn't have felt right spending basically full price on another one, which makes perfect sense. But, you know. There's a reason this game was loved for so long. So, realistically, if you know Mass Effect, you know this is a good game. If you don't know Mass Effect, this is a good game. The only thing that will disappoint you is the ending of 3, unfortunately. But everything else there is quite good. So this contains almost all of the DLC. And I would definitely suggest, and I would definitely say, that it is worth your time. This is a fantastic thing to add on, and it's a very expensive item in the bundle. Yes, it shouldn't be that expensive, but it is. Apparently, it's on Origin, which is a pain. In fact, I didn't actually check. Yeah. Okay. This is the first time they've done a key that isn't a Steam key. Even the Borderlands 3 was a choice between Epic or Steam. So that could be considered troubling for some. But that being said, even if you don't have it on Steam, you do technically need Origin to run this anyway, because it's one of those EA games that does that. So, I guess I'm happy enough that Humble was able to send this out, even if it isn't a Steam key. I just hope that we see predominantly Steam keys in general. Let's look at this next one. So, this next one appears to be a fighting game based on Nickelodeon characters. It feels like it is entirely full of memes, and that's about it. So, realistically, for me personally, this isn't that interesting. I've never been much of a fighting game person, and while I do love Nickelodeon, I generally prefer the old school ones versus the new one. Now there are real monsters there. It's clearly Rugrats, so obviously they do have the old school ones there as well. But like, is this what I ever wanted? No, not really. That being said, it's relatively well rated on Steam. It's an expensive game, once again, so they're really trying to buff up the fact that they're now giving out expensive games. So yeah, if you like what you see here, maybe you might enjoy that. Now, this next one, I looked at it. It looks quite interesting, but it also looks like a horror. So I'm not personally looking forward to it. However, I mean, a cinematic horror game featuring a multiplayer mode. Yeah, exactly. 5 friends set sail on a holiday trip that soon changes into something much more sinister. Embark on a horrific journey aboard a ghost ship. Don't play alone. Oh dear. Yeah, this is clearly not one I'm going to be happy about having access to. However, I know a lot of people do love this sort of stuff, so for you guys, maybe that'll be good. Another $50 title. Another mostly positive title. Yeah. All right, Red Solas 2. So Red Solas 2 is apparently an RPG strategy game. Now, I do quite enjoy RTS style games, so why not? Is what I can say there. Let's see, there's actually a lot of videos here. Is that nothing but videos? Huh, okay. I guess the question is it going to be... I mean, it's doing a good job of selling it. I'll give it that. Trailer starts in. Okay. Liberate Mars. Nice. Is it so? It's doesn't have base building by the looks of it. Looks like it's almost like XCOM class combined, but instead of doing tactical, it looks like it's doing a real-time combat. Oh no. I just realized something. It's feeling like, oh dear. Also, I just realized I've got that in the wrong order. I've just realized that, what it's reminding me of. Those RTS missions where you're just given a small squad of goons, and that's all you do. Like, you just have those goons. So, I hope there is some form of base building. Yeah. There's a lot of videos. But yeah, okay. Interesting. It's one I'll definitely play. It's 70% mostly positive. Another game that's worth like $45, Australian at least. Might be less in your region. So yeah, it's one of the cheaper ones in this bundle, but it looks alright. Now, this game is by far the cheapest in the bundle, and it is one I had purchased once before, but actually got a refund on because it just didn't have all the right features that I needed in a city builder game. Now, I love city builders, and I'm very specifically picky about my impressions city builder games. I was told, however, that Nebulangela has done a very good job at fixing up my early gripes and most people's early gripes. So I'm sort of not surprised to see it in the Humble Bundle, because it does feel like something that they want people to give it a second chance. At the moment, it's very positive on Steam. It's, one of the cheaper ones in the bundle, but if you like this sort of game, you'll like it. Let's watch the trailer for this one too. Now, if you've never played an impressions game before, these sort of city builders always have a very similar sort of an issue. Not an issue, but like a gameplay loop. Essentially, you gather raw resources to feed or make your population happy. When you gather those resources, originally they're easy resources like food and such. And then over time, your people want more and more and more luxurious goods, which might require more and more chains of production. So your idea is trying to manage your people so that you have enough people to do jobs, but you don't go overboard past your supplies. So you won't, It's a little bit more forgiving than some of those sort of games where they're like, everyone upgrades at once. Like, those games where like, oh yeah, everyone's better now because everyone's got better working conditions. No, in this game, they will only upgrade when they have the correct needs, and they'll generally only downgrade when they don't. So it's a nice, actually pretty accessible sort of concept. Now, the reason I didn't like this when it first came out is it did not have enough flavor and color for these sort of games. Now, the original Impressions games were full of vibrant animations for all the buildings. It had walking people who walked on the track, and you click on them, and they'd say a funny line, etc. And on release, Nebulangela didn't have that. It didn't have any of this. In fact, it didn't even have, and this was a particularly red mark on its name, it didn't actually have a skirmish mode. A free play mode, a sandbox, like a mode you can just play without a campaign, which is a real downside because there's a lot of people who really love the campaign, yes, but then there's a lot of people like me who just love to play through and just build a city with no real goals or stuff. So over the last few months, they've done a very good job of adding back in most of the features that people would expect and a few more. As you can see, the monument building system in particular looks really good, and if it's done correctly, it could be a phenomenal thing to do. So I'm looking forward to touching base with this game again. I will even put it on my first impressions list because I don't feel like I can count the time I went in and thought it was shit and sort of just closed it straight away. So I'm going to give it a better chance. I'm going to give it another chance, but that is a good pickup for me. I personally am happy whenever I see a city builder like this. If you're looking for other city builders like this, we've got the new Pharaoh coming out soon, the Pharaoh remake. You've got Lethis, Path of Progress, another one made by the same people as Pharaoh. Well, not as Pharaoh, but another one made by the same people who are remaking Pharaoh. And of course, you got all the old school Impressions games, such as the original Pharaoh, Caesar 3, Zeus, Poseidon. They're all fantastic games. So that's a good pickup, in my opinion. So yeah. So we got 2 left. Starting with this police stories thing. Gotta say, opening up, just looking at this image, it looks really quite interesting. I like the look of the art style. And if we scroll back down to have a little bit more of a look here, yeah, fresh take on top-down shooters with emphasis on tactics. It says single-player mode or online co-op. Shooting is first is not an option. So yeah, this is sounding really interesting. You go in, you try and apprehend suspects. If things goes poorly, it goes poorly. But this is sounding like it could be a really interesting game. So let's have a look at the trailer of this one too.
Get down!
Shooting first is not an option.
Put your hands up!
Use tactical equipment to your advantage.
Get down! On the ground now!
Squad up with an AI partner or a friend.
Target's open. Get hands up!
Featuring a gripping crime thriller story. Each new run is unpredictable.
Get down!
Police stories. Pre-order now for Nintendo Switch. Coming September 19th, 2019.
I gotta say, that really seems interesting to me. But I think it's lying about the whole single player thing. I'll look forward to seeing how the AI buddy cop actually works. If they've done that well, that could be fantastic. But otherwise, I feel like it's a game that you really would need to play with your friend. Because you really want someone you can trust watching your back in this sort of situation. So, you know. And the last game of Humble Bundle is Evans Remains. It says it's a mystery thriller puzzle adventure about finding a missing boy, Evan. Combines logic puzzles-based platform puzzles with narrative inspired by Japanese graphic adventure games. So once again, I guess we'll watch the video and see what it's like. Alright, Evans Remains. I gotta say, that looks like a game I'm gonna suck at. However, it looks really intriguing with that storyline, and it definitely seems the sort of game that I will play anyway because it looks really, really interesting. So yeah, this is one of those times when I'm like, I'm gonna hate the game, but I'm gonna love trying to get a bit through it anyway. A bunch of games like that, like Thomas Was Alone and such games, that's like, yeah, they just appeal to me in different ways. This one appeals to me in a different way, and that's why 91% positive. It's a really cheap game. It's the cheapest one in the bundle. The rest of them are more expensive. But overall, besides the horror game, which I'm never going to play, well, I mean, I might. If I get it on my Mountain of Shame, I sort of had to. Thankfully, I've got so many games on my mountain right now, it's hard to pick up a single horror game, thankfully. But essentially, with this bundle, it seems pretty damn good, really. I'm quite pleased. This is the bundle I would have led with last month, to be honest. Like, this is a much better bundle than last month. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna keep going with this for now. But yeah, I was a little bit concerned that last month would be what we go off. Now, if they are going to start giving us out some really expensive but decent looking games, well, I gotta say, I might be okay with it, but we'll see. The coming months will be the proof. Once again, we have gone down to only 8 games. 8 games, not that much. Very small amount of games here. What's there though? Almost every one of them looks interesting, and they're almost all games I don't already own. So, I mean, you could count the Mass Effect Legendary Editions, but we've still got second one to look at. We've still got the Amazon Prime ones. Okay, so once again, Amazon Prime is giving us a few games on proper platforms. So we're getting Madden 22 on Origin. Yeah, yay. We're getting Surviving Mars. Look, I love Surviving Mars, I really do. But the problem with Surviving Mars is that it's been given out for free before. It's been given out on deep discount before. And out of all platforms you could get Surviving Mars on, Epic would probably be the worst. Just because the chances of them going on sale are lower. It's, yeah, I just, and you don't have the workshop. Overall, Surviving Mars, much as I love the game, it's not a fantastic pickup. As for the other games, now, I do own a couple of them already. Like, I already own The Stillness of the Wind. I haven't played it yet. And, well, obviously I already own Surviving Mars and Pester Quest. So, yeah, SteamWorld, Quest, Hand of Gilgamesh, Look Inside, Stillness of the Wind, Crypto Against All Odds, and Pester Quest. So let's have a look at all these games and see what I think. But in general, I'm not as impressed with the humble bundle, the Amazon bundle this month. So this is actually the second month in a row where I feel like was last month was better. I think, yeah, it's still. I feel like Amazon has been dropping the ball on their bundles recently. Even with the free games they've been giving out, it just feels like they're sort of going back into their old ways a little bit. So Madden NFL 22, I'm not gonna like this game. I'm not gonna enjoy it. These sort of games are always filled with microtransactions and stuff, and they're always the same game released every single year. The whole pull of these sort of games is that they're real world players. They're real people that you can watch, but you watch it. I don't watch NFL. So yeah. Is this like I'm pretty sure this is the gridiron stuff that America does, which is actually really boring for me because they consistently line up and that's what they do. I don't know. I just As I said, Surviving Mars is a phenomenal game and it's only getting better over time. I will say, however, the Below and Beyond expansion pack has still not been considered fantastic. Even though they are still working on it. I personally think the Below and Beyond expansion pack is fine. But it had a very rocky launch, and they're still having to update it. So if they put in maybe one more content patch, I reckon Below and Beyond will be completely fixed. And I also still do want to see other DLC released. If you are going to get Surviving Mars for free, I would definitely suggest picking up the at least the Green Planet. And if you like the music, the Mars Vision Song Contest. They're both very good DLCs. Space Race is good if you want to play more of AI, but it's not really anything special. Lakia is just pets, so it's just for looks more than anything else. But yeah, Green Planet, that is where it's at. That is a fantastic expansion pack. So yeah. Don't be tricked by Mars Lifestyle Radio. It doesn't have any of the voice acted songs that is really good in the rest of the game. So just keep that in mind. So that'll be on Epic for you guys. SteamWorld Quest Hand of Gilgamesh. Now, I played the rest of the SteamWorld games, and they are often just very good. So I'm kind of interested to see what this card-based SteamWorld game will look like. SteamWorld does a really good job of building a interesting world full of robots that shouldn't be in robot-y places. Like this isn't a robot-y place. They're all steam powered, so they're not actually full robots. It's very interesting to me personally. I think this is by far the main attraction of this bundle. However, I do wish they'd given this one out as a real key rather than, Surviving Mars, which, everyone's got already. Now, look inside. Book found in the attic. Mason discovers the past of her family members through their memories, gestures, their quirks, and little secrets. So it's sort of an investigation game where you flick through and look through like different parts of the story. I do very much appreciate this sort of a thing, even if it's a casual point click. I'm very much looking forward to seeing how it goes. I don't know if it's the full game or not, because it says even up here, it's a good start. What did it say? Yeah, good introduction. Oh, maybe it's being a good start. I don't know. It just seems like a very small game, so I don't know if it's the full game or not. So I guess we'll find out when I bring it on my mountain. The next one is one I already bought and owned myself. I don't remember whether I got this it might have even been from a Humble Bundle, come to think of it. But essentially, story rich, atmospheric. I mean, it sounds like it could be a good time. That's why I probably got it. But if you already own it, maybe less good. But yeah, tend to your homestead, get news from your family, choose how you spend your days. Sounds like a retirement simulator, basically. So yeah. This is not a crypto game. It's not a blockchain game. However, it has blockchain in it. In fact, if I put blockchain into the tags, I'm guessing I'll get more views out of it, because that's what this game's trying to do. Crypto against all odds. It seems like it's trying to hit all of the buzzwords. Blockchain, cybersecurity, crypto, hackers. It's trying to get people to click on it just based on that alone. It looks like a fairly simplistic, albeit okay, looking tower defense game. It definitely feels like it's just really trying to run on the bandwagon, basically. So, will it be good? I don't know. I'll play it obviously because I do love tower defense games, but honestly, it feels like it's trying to be a cash grab. So there's that. And finally, Pester Quest. Now, Pester Quest is made by the same people who made Homestruck and Hiveswap's Universe. Now, the only game of this I've played currently is the Hiveswap Friend Sim, and if you look at my video on that, I was not very impressed. I do, however, already own this game, so it was already going to be on my mountain eventually. However, meh. Meh is my answer. So, overall, a pretty meh Amazon bundle, all things considered. I am interested in playing this Look Inside, and I obviously want to play SteamWorld Quest, but everything else there is sort of not really for me. The Humble Choice, on the other hand, surprisingly decent. So, gotta say, this month I am a lot more excited about the Humble Choice. I do hope they don't release another coupon midway through, but I don't see how they could. There's not really any high DLC games in this, which could have a coupon with it. But otherwise, if you like what you see here, I'll put links to these bundles in the description down below, and you check it out. Tell me in the comments what you think. Do you like these bundles? Do you think they're doing slightly better this month like I do? Or do you still have problems with the fact they've dropped down the number of games and that, maybe, oh yeah, but everyone has Mass Effect Legendary Edition or whatever. Like, what do you dislike about this bundle? Anyway, for now, thank you for joining me on my Eruption of Shame, and I shall see you all next time. And hopefully you'll join me in the half month when I go and check out the next set of Kickstarter games, because that was a lot of fun last time, and I would hope more people would get into it. So yeah, and besides the video thing that I was able to show you videos, that came from me using the Kickstarter thing. So yeah, I'm getting better, guys, slowly but surely. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you all in my Eruption of Shame next month. Goodbye.